Obviously coming off the back of a pretty big loss, what are your thoughts, mate? What are your thoughts on the championship season so far? What do you think? So, I mean, I guess we could start with, how is it different from last season?
See, this is the thing for me. So, like, obviously based on how the season's gone now, you know, if we end up in the playoffs or whatever, we don't end up going up, you'd be absolutely good. But if you'd have asked us at the start of the season that we would be third with 8 games left to go, we're snapping your hands off. I don't care what anyone says. However, how good Bielsa is, no one expected this. I don't care. Some people might say, "Oh, I always knew," but let's be honest. I think to be where we are with 8 games left to go, it's huge, man. It's gone great. Let's be honest.
Of course it has, mate. Yeah, no, I'd agree with you. I mean, you look at where we were last season. I mean, you know, I don't know what. I mean, what did you think? Did you think at the start of the season we'd be in the top 6? I don't know. I mean, I kind of thought maybe I'd be hoping for sort of like maybe a 5th, 6th, but I never thought in my wildest dreams we'd be top. Well, 2 for them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always positive. Listen, I'm positive under managers like Evans and that, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? But I didn't think we would be here. No, let's be honest. Especially with the personnel that we started the season with.
Yeah,
it's the same person.
Same squad, isn't it?
Bar Barry Douglas, who's done fuck all. That's just my opinion. Do you know, like, I remember that first game of the season, and I go with my pal who goes all the time. I remember saying, "What is that lineup?"
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it only
Stokes against Stoke as well.
Stoke.
Yeah.
Oh, where is everyone?
Yeah.
You know? And that just shows how good of a coach Bielsa is, really, to think that he's managed to turn these, as we've said before, average players, average championship players into top level championship players.
You see that, don't you? I mean, we've spoken so much about Cooper, about Roof. I mean, Phillips even. I mean, you've always loved Phillips, haven't you? But I mean, I was probably one of his biggest critics last year. I thought when we sold Vieira, I thought that was a massive blow. And do you know what? I still stick by it. I'd have loved to have seen what Bielsa could have done with Vieira.
Yeah, definitely.
But what he's managed to do with players who average championship players, you know, I mean, everyone harking back to the League One Liam comments at the start of the season, and now to say where they are now, it's insane.
It's insane. Like you say, you've got a good point about Vieira, because I think him and KP would have just in and out, and it'd have just been class.
Rotation,
for that position. I know he likes to play Forshaw there, but if we go back to earliest, points in the season, Forshaw and KP were in the same side, right? And so, it would have been perfect, I guess, to KP and Ronnie to be able to switch over, But so it'd have been, like I said, it'd have been great to. You touched on Ronaldo Vieira. It'd have been great to see him there. I don't actually know how's he doing there. Do you know?
He's in. I think he's in and out, but I mean, they evidently saw his quality, didn't they? And I don't know. At the start of the season, when that happened, obviously he went for 7 mil. We brought Paddy in, didn't we, for 7 mil? I don't know. I'm always still a bit, because you've seen what Bielsa's been able to do with the sort of players we have. Well, let's be right, Vieira was probably on a different plane to the rest of that team last season as well, wasn't he? Unreal. Even in the Monk era, he was by far. And I just saw him. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I actually saw him as a Vieira, a Patrick Vieira, that sort of player in our squad. Combative, wasn't he, and just so good on the ball. I don't know, mate. But then,
I think he'll go on to do great things in the game.
Do you reckon?
Oh yeah, 100%. He's still young, mate. Yeah. He's still young. And I remember at the time doing a video, and it all seemed a little bit dodgy, because it was around about the same time that we got Douglas. And I know, was it Mendes who sorts all the stuff for Wolves? You know what I mean? And I think he had a deal in Vieira going there, and I remember doing a video. I looked back and I was thinking, it all smells a bit dodgy to me, because like Vieira's gone there, and then we've got Douglas on the cheap, because at the time Douglas $3 million, it was a snip. Obviously, you'd probably say now you'd have a different attitude to it.
Should have got him for 1.
Yeah, exactly. He's definitely not the same guy that was at Wolves.
No. And like we said, mate, I mean, it's one of those things where, do you perform better with better players around you? Of course you do. Of course you do. There's always been that question mark around Douglas. He's never been at the top level, and why is that? Do you know what I mean? He's 29 now, isn't he?
Yeah. And I guess in a way, even I worked with a lad who was a Wolves fan, and he was shocked that we'd sold him. But I guess in a way,
right decision.
Nuno's been vindicated.
Yeah, of course.
They've been vindicated because listen, he hasn't been able to do it for us, so he wouldn't have been able to do it in the Prem. It's facts.
He got hounded as well, didn't he? Like you said, by Wolves fans, by even like Leeds fans. We were just like, wow, we got him for 3 million.
I mean, he was shocked himself. I remember him saying, him coming in and they were saying, oh, we're getting rid. He was like, what? And maybe that has a part to play in why he's not been great, because listen, he thought he was going to the promised land, going to the Prem, and then to
motivation to keep going again and again, isn't it?
To just come in and be told, actually,
not good enough.
You're not good enough for us, in our opinion, so we're going to sell you at cut price. It wasn't as if people were banging the door down, which surprised me as well. That's why I was mentioning about it being a bit dodgy, because I was like, how have we managed to get him for 3 million? How has no one else got there?
It's a good point.
Because ultimately there is teams in the Championship that have got well bigger budgets than us, that surely if he was mooted to them, they'd have took him. So that's why about dodgy, but I'm just theorising, you know what I mean? I'm what's the word?
Speculating.
Yeah, conspiracy theories.
But like you said, Joe, it was. I mean, the other one at the start as well, for me, and I don't know. I do think it has had an impact. I think Sáiz, and I know a lot. You know, you did a video on it, didn't you, where you were just sort of like, you know, if you don't want to play, then fair play. But I don't know. I think in some games since Sáiz left, I think he could have unlocked something. But the issue with Sáiz, I mean, he's coming back at the end of the season. We all know that. But it's his attitude, and it was always his attitude.
Bielsa won't take
no way.
Regardless of, even if Getafe, it's evident now, it looks that they don't want him on a perm, especially for the money that they'd have to pay. What would it be, about like 6 or something like that?
Yeah.
I think that was muted, wasn't it?
I wonder why.
I don't know.
Attitude maybe again.
Yeah, again. I mean, I think that's what it boils down to. And a lot of people said, "Oh, family issues." Yeah, I understand that, but there was nothing stopping his partner going back to Spain. He could have still gone. Look, the guys get a lot of time off. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I think it was an easy get out for him personally. You know, some people might disagree, and the club were willing to let him go. Not only that, they let him go when we still had like 3 or 4 games left to play until he could actually play for Getafe. So what was the point? They said, we'll let you go, but we've still got a couple of games. I do agree with you in that certain games, let's say for Sheffield United, for example, or even QPR.
It'd be perfect.
It'd have been perfect.
Drawing players out, 3 or 4 players.
My mate texted me, Sean, and who I go to the football with, and he said, look, have you seen this news about Getafe wanting him, you know, not wanting him? I think it was lazy journalism, but they were basically saying that he could go back to Leeds. And my mate said to me, would you take him back? And I turned around and, you know, just because of no, I don't want him back because he left us, you know what I mean? I have that attitude. Listen, if he didn't want to put what I didn't understand was he had an opportunity to become this squad. If it gets us up, they'll be revered for years to come. Let's be honest, they will, because we've been in the doldrums that long. What is it, 15 years? You know, they'll be revered. Yeah, look at that squad that beat Man United at Old Trafford. You know what I mean? And some of them players in that squad.
Still talk about them, don't we?
Exactly.
Andy Hughes,
massive.
Kiz Norbert.
Yeah, the lot of them, and if this squad, and he had the opportunity to be part of that. You want to turn you back to go play for Getafe because it's in Spain
on loan.
It just didn't make sense to me. So that's why I was like, no, I don't want him back.
Yeah.
Why does he want to come back when we're in the Prem? Let's say we're in the Prem and he says, no, look, I'm willing to put the work in. I want to. Why? Just because we're in the Prem. Do one.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I agree.
It's
attitude, isn't it? Attitude's got to be in it. You've got to be. And as Leeds fans in particular, a working class club, and all we want is effort. That's number one, isn't it? Putting 100%. That's why everyone loved Hughes, wasn't it? And Becchio.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. You know what? I mean, at the end of the day, he came out and said that he stopped playing after that sentence.
Yeah, I mean,
are you crazy? You don't say that,
especially to Bielsa.
Yeah, you don't say it, man. He said it in a press conference, right? As well.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
And especially when you bring him in, which we did alongside someone like Alioski, who doesn't stop. You know, and let's be right, at the start of the season, me included, I was a little bit like with Alioski. We saw him playing left wing, and it was a little bit like, you know, I mean, I did a video on it, and I said Alioski has to put question mark.
I remember saying in the transfer, like leading up to a transfer window, saying he's the weak link and he's the one that we need a replacement for. I said that, and some people were like, no, he's not. You know what I mean? And everyone's entitled to their opinion. That's what football, right? You either agree, disagree. You know what I mean? But you're right, man. I think with Bielsa, Alioski will run through brick walls.
But I also think you were right, Joe, in a sense that you were talking about him as a left winger. And as a left winger, we did need a replacement for him because he's not a left winger. It's like playing. I mean, I even said it was mental, but I said, you know, even put Douglas at left wing at one point because I was just like, at least change it up and see if we can get something a little bit different before we knew about Clark. Yeah. But I just think he's been a revelation at left back, and I think what Bielsa's done is he's built confidence in the lad, and it's amazing how we didn't see it before, isn't it? He played for Macedonia at left back, Lugano we played at left back. Why had we been playing in left wing?
And I've said it on podcasts and I've said it on videos. I think if he plays at left back last season, we don't sign Douglas. Do you know what I mean? Because we see the potential of him.
Fair point,
I mean, we still might sign Douglas because of the amount that we had to pay for him.
And who he was.
Yeah, and who he was peanuts. But, you know, I genuinely believe, like, especially if you think back to last season, you know, we had Berardi playing, we had all sorts playing left back except Alioski. At the moment, he's, for me, he should, like, the turnaround in such a short space of time, not even over the season, since January, and we're only in March. Like I said, people were saying, me included, you know, we need a new left winger, we need someone instead of Alioski. Yes, like you said, it's a different position, but ultimately, the fans' opinion on Alioski has just changed in the space of like 2 or 3 months, because we can see that he's just an absolute grafter.
And he's changed a lot of people's opinions.
Massive.
And another one as well, you know, has changed opinion. Luke Ayling at the minute. Oh. You know, I mean, he's. There was a period, wasn't there, where everyone was shouting for when Berardi gets back, stick him in Shackleton, right back. But now it's all in favour of Luke Ayling, isn't it?
Yeah. Why did he sub him at the weekend? I know we're going back, but why did he sub him? You know, I just remember that right hand side, and I'm thinking they're combining so well. Pablo, Click, even Roberts coming into Ayling, and then he just switched that whole right hand side. You know, and I heard it on one of the podcasts. He said, like, when you're going after a game, this is the one thing. I mean, I love Bielsa, but no one's exempt from criticism. And someone said, why, when you're going after a game and you're down one, you don't change your fullbacks. And I thought, do you know what? I never thought of it like that. But you've got you've got a point. You don't change fullbacks when you're going after a game. Do you know what I mean?
You see it as a bit of a waste of a sub, don't you? Unless you know, Dallas was going to be hurting them going forward. With all respect to Dallas, I can only think of one game where he's done that. It's Reading at home, where he had a really good game when he came on.
There was the opportunity, QPR.
He had to score. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's maybe super critical. But
and do you not think the Telegraph, as a fan, can you call these substitutions?
I can now.
I said it before. I remember when Douglas came back from his injury, and I remember doing a pre-match and saying, I think this will happen. You know, Harrison will come off Alioski, and it happened, and it continues to happen. There was a lad in front of me at the game said, "Is Clark on the bench?" I said, "Yes, Clark's on the bench, but I'm guaranteed we'll see other people before then." Someone in front of us went, "Yeah, Dallas did all right." So everyone is they're aware of these substitutions. There's a little bit telegraphed, and listen, I'm not questioning the man, because listen, who am I? Do you know what I mean? The funny thing from my post-match, I said Chris Basham played all right. I watched bloody Wilders, and he was saying after the game, it's a good job he scored, because I was going to bring him off. He was doing shite, and I'm going, I thought Basham played well.
So I did as well. I saw a lot of Sheffield United fans saying that on a lot of the vlogs. They were saying they wanted him hauled off at half time.
Well, Wilders said it after 25 minutes. He was going to bring him off
because he wanted to put. I think what he did, didn't he? He put. I mean, what a masterstroke that Wilder that was. I mean, who puts the centre half? I'll tell you who does it. Neil Warnock with Sol Bamba against us last season. Do you remember that? 10 out of 10 performances on both occasions.
What did he say? He was like, he name
it was unbelievable, wasn't he?
But he name checked someone and said he was on the same par. I forget who it was, man. It was funny.
Warnock did with Bamba.
Yeah, I forget who it was, and I was like, you're off your head. But
so what do you reckon? What's been your favourite home game then, mate, so far this season? What would you say? I'd say the one we were at was pretty special, wasn't it? Derby at home. I'd say that was pretty special.
Yeah, man. Performance-wise, it was unreal. I mean, from obviously I've got a season ticket, but the Boxing Day fixture against Blackburn. Now I couldn't go. I couldn't go because I've got parents. You know what I mean? I've got kids, and I don't get it. Anyway, but I was at home basically for Boxing Day, and I remember like staring at them thinking, yeah, you absolute gits. Do you know what I mean? No, because I couldn't go to the game. But that would have been special, man. That would have been special. It's so frustrating because the fixtures that I've missed, and we'll go on to the away games, but I even missed the West Brom game due to personal reasons, and it's like, my God, my mate said that was the best atmosphere he's had experienced.
Yeah, I've heard that. I missed it as well.
I missed it, man, and I've got a season ticket, so it's frustrating. But yeah, like you say, Derby. I thought Stoke at home, first game of the season. Wow.
Yeah, but that
just didn't
in the sun as well. In the sun, everything was perfect, wasn't it?
Everyone was buzzing, and none of us expected what we did. Like you say, yeah, Derby, and I think just everything that surrounded the Derby fixture as well, you know,
Spygate and everything,
you know, only a couple of days later, Bielsa doing his press conference. I remember being at work and doing an Instagram story thinking, he's gone, you know.
Oh, we were all talking about it, wasn't it? That massive stream I did from, you know, remember it just...
Yeah.
Oh, it was horrible, that, wasn't it? And we all thought he was going, that was it.
What a performance.
Oh, we were incredible.
And this is what...
It's annoying, isn't it? It's the consistency of those performances.
But this is what makes me think we're still in with a shout. Obviously, 8 games left to go, because these sort of against adversity. I mean, Click came out and said in the press conference prior to Sheffield United, I think he mentioned about, you know, after getting beat at the QPR game, they wanted to destroy West Brom, and look what they did. Look what they did after the Derby thing. They galvanised them, and I'm hoping for a similar sort of result come Millwall on the 30th.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd probably say. I mean, I'd probably say my favourite one. Obviously, because I was in Australia for about 6 months of it, so I've not been able to see that many. But shout out to all you lot who are watching from Australia. We get a lot, don't we, Joe, from Oz? So, you know, I'd probably have to say that I think that Derby game we went to was pretty special. Like you said, Joe, it was everything that was built up. Everyone was hating on us. You know, it was all the other clubs coming out and having the 2 cents, wasn't it? Every other club, Bristol City being a massive one, Norwich as well, of course.
Even when I went home and you watch it back, even like Sky didn't give us a fair shake leading up to it. You know, Andrews and Bent and that calling for bloody points.
Do you remember Forshaw that game as well? How good was he that game?
I know,
Forshaw, best game in a Leeds shirt, wasn't it?
He was class.
Special mention to him. He was brilliant. But leads me on to what about your favourite away game so far? Or what's your favourite away performance that you're not necessarily have been to, but you've seen?
Derby away, the second game of the season. Because that was another one for me in that was Stoke flash in the pan.
Yeah.
Were they thinking they were better than the Championship? You know what happens when teams come down. You know, they had players like Joe Allen and that, and they, you know, they're thinking we're better than this. So for us to go out and do what we did to Derby, I think a lot of it's down to the way Frank Lampard tried his tactics. He tried to fight fire with fire.
Tries to go blow for blow against us every time, didn't he?
Which they had no chance. But again, one that I didn't get to go to, but it'll be Villa. Villa was huge, wasn't it? Because it was one of them like season defining. If we do go up, it's one of them games where you look at and think, wow, you know.
What it was a wow. That's exactly what it was, mate. It was a wow performance. Joe actually got me a ticket for that, and he didn't go. But yeah, I mean, 2-0 down to that lot as well with the quality they've got on the pitch. You know, the whole end behind them. Villa Park's a rocking stadium, so it's brilliant.
I've never been there.
Oh mate, it's a brilliant stadium. You know, and one of the special grounds in English football, I think. And when they got 2-0 up, you're thinking to yourself, this is going to be an absolute whitewash. Yeah. Remember my granddad texted me and he just went, I feel so sorry for you and your dad at this point.
Got
to half time, you can imagine what I was like. And that second half, obviously Clark came on, changed the game, and that goal, and that's a brilliant thing as well. I mean, we've still got these players to come back. You know, you look at Roof, who just I don't know what's happened to him. It's a natural. He's not a natural finisher, but his finishing has improved so much, hasn't it? And that goal against Villa sort of
it was unreal,
left peg, bottom corner.
That was insane, insane. I was in my front room, like obviously on the weekend I have the kids and stuff, and they were like, "What's going on?" Man, I was giving. Everyone knows.
I had a headache for about 4 days after that.
To be there though, to sample that, it would have been special.
Oh, it really was
special.
Yeah.
I think they had an opportunity at 2-0 as well. I think it might have been Codger.
Oh yeah, when he should have buried it. Yeah. No, it was Balassi, wasn't it? When he hit it with his wrong foot, didn't he?
Can't remember.
Bizarre.
My memory's poor, but yeah, special. But let's say, so obviously favourite game then. What do you think's been the worst away performance?
What a great question. I think, to be honest, mate, for the whole situation, I'd probably go QPR. That was a punch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That really hurt. I know that hurt every single Leeds fan. That
I think it was
a sucker punch.
I don't buy into this. You know, everyone keeps saying how important that QPR. Oh, that'll be the reason we lost and that. Listen, there's a lot of reasons why. For me, if we don't go pitch due to our inefficiencies in front of goal, like, I don't think you can pinpoint one game because you could go on all day, couldn't you?
Yeah.
But I think Stoke was really poor as well. I went to that game and I
think we had a chat before that. I just had a feeling with Stoke.
It was minging. And do you know what pissed me off more? Is the fact after us, they didn't win for about 6 or 7.
I don't know if they have.
No,
I don't know if they have.
And that's where the blasphemy baton started on the square ball, weren't it? Do you know what I mean?
The
God rot.
Yeah. It's the exact same with QPR, isn't it?
Yeah.
Keep getting beat by Rotherham at home the other week.
Exactly, mate. And I said about QPR as well. I remember saying in my post-match, and I can almost guarantee QPR will play next. And who did they play? They played Brentford. They got battered like 4-1 or 4-0.
Yeah, they got slapped, didn't they? It was 5-0 or something ridiculous like that.
It's so frustrating, but it comes back to, and Neil Harris has already started, and we're not playing till 30th. Coming out and stoking the fire and saying, this is our biggest game of the season. What are you talking about? Like, why? You've got 8 games left to go. Yes, you're in a relegation dogfight, but why playing Leeds with 8 games left to go is your biggest game of the season? But in terms of how the players apply themselves, no disrespect to Norwich fans if you're watching, or Sheffield United fans, a lot of teams couldn't give 2 hoots. Whereas when they play Leeds, they want to be the team that screws us over. The fans want to be able to see Leeds are falling apart again.
They love that chant, Leeds are falling apart. Joe, you're completely right. And you know, it's one of those things where you've got to admit, one of my mates is a Barnsley fan, and he said every time someone plays Sunderland, they up their game, and that's why Sunderland have got so many draws this season. Because you get Wickham, you get Wimbledon playing them, and they up the games. It's Sunderland. Do you know what I mean? It's a Premier League club.
Right?
Whereas when they play Barnsley, he's even admitted as a Barnsley fan, he's come out and he said they don't up the levels as much against us, so we go and beat them 2 or 3-0. And it's the exact same with Leeds. It's always said everyone hates us. They do. If you're not Leeds, you hate Leeds, and that's if you're watching this video and you're an opposition fan, you're kidding yourself if you don't. It's true, isn't it? Every club hates us,
but we love that, right?
And we love it. That's what we are. But like you said, you're 100%. I mean, you look at when Bolton played Norwich and they rolled over 4-0. They come to Ellen Road and they put in the performance of the season and we barely beat them.
And that's so poignant because I watch a lot of fan channels, and obviously I remember, who was it? I think it might have been Bolton. They said it was the performance of the season. Yet we won.
QPR was the exact same.
Borough. Performance of the season.
Borough was, we drew.
So even though they're having these mid performances, we were still managed to get points from. But
Borough fans hark back to that being the performance of the season against Leeds.
Yeah, and then they go on that. And the reason I put it down to is because we are such a big club, and like you say, everyone hates us. Even the players, like look at Steve Morrison. Can you imagine what it's going to be like in the dressing room for them?
It's his biggest game of the season, isn't it? Steve Morrison. It's the only game of the season he turns up to. And it's the same with Harris. And this is what I was saying to Joe as well before coming on air. You know, you look at sort of and it is so frustrating that every club sort of, and even Ipswich, the last day of the season, if there's something to play for, Ipswich will turn up. They will turn up against Leeds.
I mean, let's hope there isn't.
Ruin the party.
Let's hope there isn't. And Norwich are in the fight because rivalry, they might just roll over for us.
Exactly. But you know, you can almost guarantee every team is going to... I mean, you look at the remaining fixtures. Villa are going to turn up because Villa have got something to play for. Wednesday are certainly going to turn up to ruin the... Although, you know, they wouldn't because of United. But, you know, and there's a few Preston, you know, see, Birmingham with Monk.
Yeah, that's pivotal, isn't it? The Birmingham-Preston swing between us and Sheffield United. Alternate, definitely. That's huge, man. So huge.
So if we hark back, Joe, what obviously, with this being sort of a championship review of everything so far, what do you think Bielsa's done for our club overall? Like just that man in general, because we've spoken about everything including the club, but what about the man at the top of the tree at the minute?
Oh, it's just like I get like a little fuzzy feeling, do you know what I mean? It's just galvanised us, right? And I think a lot of that has to do with Rads and that as well, because of the way the football,
as well, you got to give credit to Orta.
The way the football clubs run. Do you know, even like what a man, you know, like when he gets off the coach, he's getting lollies and he's giving them to kids.
So respectful,
you know
isn't he?
Yeah. Well, we all know. Did you see the Sky interview?
No, he got a bit.
When the guy was like, no, answer the question.
Yeah.
That's the first time really I've seen him get a little bit shirty, I guess. But no, well, look at the football. It's the best football we've been playing, period, for a very, very long time.
And if you're an opposing fan watching this, imagine getting a team who had no sort of cohesion, teamwork last year. They're running out. I wouldn't say they all played for the badge last season. For me, I wouldn't say they all put in 100% effort. I'm not saying they're unfit, but they're nowhere near as fit as they are now. And imagine getting a team that has sort of flirted with 13th place and 15th place really for the past 5 years, really, hasn't it? Apart from that Monk season. Imagine getting that team and blowing the championship away with that team with barely any additions. Do you know what I mean? People, I think opposition fans sort of don't give him enough credit for what he's done for this football club.
And I think, but a lot of that, again, it comes back to it's because it's Leeds. Let's be honest, because if it was anywhere else, if it was in the Premier League, even if it was in the Premier League and Leeds were in there, they'd get a lot more plaudits because it's the Premier League and that's the only league that exists at times. Do you know what I mean? But what he's done, like the style of football, mate, to see it week in, week out, it is just amazing, you know what I mean?
Take it for granted at the minute, don't we?
Oh yeah, but this season, and I always hark back to it, if we do go up, the end of season DVD or moments and that, can you imagine?
Box set.
Oh, 100%. They're watching it back to back.
Oh, I will. Won't go to work anymore.
He's just the messiah, isn't he, man? And he's just fantastic,
I just think he's just changed everything, and he's everything at Thorpe Arch, our training ground, he's made better. The players' ethos, they all want to die for that badge now. They go right till the end. We talked about Villa and Blackburn earlier on, and teams come out this season and they're fearful. They don't want to play Leeds. They don't want to play Leeds because we go right till the end.
And I mean, we've scored in apart from QPR, but up until QPR, we'd scored in every single away game. The only team across Europe to do that. That tells you all you need to know about. I mean, previous seasons, Leeds United going down away from home.
Game over, innit? Roll over, yeah.
If we concede early, honestly, previous seasons, Leeds fans watching this will understand, but any opposing fans, that was it. A mentality, we've lost.
Game over,
we've lost.
And
we'll probably get someone sent off and concede about 4, because that's...
Well, Wilder said an interesting comment last season, which I actually saw on. I've just read I can't remember what article it was now, and he said
get at these.
He was like, they've got a soft underbelly.
Yeah.
And he said, get at them, because if you get at them, they'll roll.
Yeah.
And he was right, and we did last season. We've done it for multiple seasons, but it's so annoying that the players' ethos don't match the fans in it, because we wouldn't roll over for anything, because we'd die for the club, wouldn't we? But big question, Joe. Will he stay if we don't go up?
I would hope,
because we've seen everyone else's opinion, even people close to the club. But what do you think? Do you think he'd stay? Do you think he's got a project at Leeds? Do you think he loves Leeds? For me, he's indoctrinated into the fabric.
No, Danny Mills. He said that he walks. He actually haggled for this. Have you seen the clip? So Danny Mills was on TalkSport, sort of shy, but he was on TalkSport, and basically he lives in a little flat above a shop. And he'd said that he'd haggled. He'd haggled for like 2 or 3 weeks for the rent. And he's on like 6 million or whatever it is,
my God.
But and it just tells you about the guy. There's no frills. There's no, you know what I mean? It's
no glamour.
No. And you are right. He's bought into it. Listen, a manager like Bielsa could walk into the majority of most clubs, right? He's had offers from the Premier League before, but it's about a project for him. And I think if we just miss out, I think he could give us another season. I
think it'd be heart wrenching if we didn't go up, and touch wood we will. But it'd be heart wrenching if he then went. But I don't know. You sort of got that glimmer of hope with Bielsa. I mean, this is all dependent on if we don't go up, and there's a massive chance we will go up.
Yeah.
But there's a thing with Bielsa that he's got morals. You don't see that a lot in football. It's all about the money, isn't it? It's all about the money. And there's no doubt that when West Ham came in for him, Villa probably offered him 10 mil a year, but he didn't see a project in it. Now he didn't with Swansea either, did he? Yeah. So for me, there is a big chance he will start. I do firmly believe that, and maybe I'm being a bit naive, but you see the guy walking out. I've never seen him in a normal clothing garment. He's always in Leeds stuff, isn't he? He never takes it off, and I just think. Go on.
Just of how the season's gone in terms of Spygate, all
injuries,
this sort of stuff.
50 injuries.
We've been so unlucky. it's his first season in the Championship, and it's a lot to acclimatise to, especially when you've been playing in the, you know, managing in the higher leagues of Europe. You know what I mean? To come down to the Championship, some of the football that's on display isn't great. And I think if he did come round a second season, for me, you'd fancy us to walk it, man. Surely,
because we'd
have more personnel as well. He'd get more people in the door.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't famously, rumoured, you know, by a lot of top sources at the club, we're after Barnes, Vieira, Angus Gunn in there. So, you know, that's the sort of the spine of the team, isn't it? And we didn't get those. That's who Bielsa wanted.
Well, Harvey Barnes was
at Thorpe Arch, yeah. And we didn't manage to get them. And you think if those players were playing under him, even once again harking back, and I'm still so upset about this, but Daniel James, I still think if he'd have come through the door, I think we'd probably be top of the league, because we're so good. We're so good going forward. We're so good going forward. The amount of chances created, and I said it on a video earlier on, and I was saying to you, I got hammered for it. I still firmly believe we are the best attacking team in the division, and I still stand by that, because you look at the amount of chances we create. Unfortunately, we can't finish them, but the amount of chances we create in an offensive team is beyond any other team in this division. We just can't finish them.
So if you put
Daniel James in that mix,
but not even that, right? So if we were to take out Rule 4 Bamford and replace it with a Pookie who's on fire, we'd be fucking miles away.
Natural finisher.
Dwight Gale, if you put him in that side, we'd be miles away.
Lewis Graben.
We're up there with the highest, if not the highest, but in terms of conversion, we're up there near the bottom of the division.
We are the highest.
We are the highest. In chances created. But in terms of conversion, we're right down the bottom end. Which to say we're thirds, it's mental really that we are third based on that stat alone. But honestly, if we could just finish our chances, I mean, look, Saturday we had 17 shots on goal and not one on target. Like, that's brutal.
It's pretty embarrassing.
It's brutal.
It is embarrassing. For me, it's. But you know, you look at some of the chances, and it's like, you know, I don't want to have. I mean, we'll go on about this on another video, but the Roberts chance just wide, you know, the Cleat chance which he hops over and Alioski gets it, and then the Bamford's got to put that away when he hits the defender. He's got to slide that into the bottom corner, and then obviously
Harrison, that has to go in, mate.
And then
any other player, it's going in.
Going straight, and then Jansen with about 2 yards out. Roberts second half smacking the post. It's chance after chance after chance. And do you know what? If we don't go up, that's why. You can't blame the transfers. You can't. It's the fact we cannot put the ball in the back of the net when it matters. Do you know what I mean? And that is for me, when we're talking about the review so far this season with Leeds United, it's the fact that we've probably scored a third of the goals that we should have scored. Do you not 100%.
Think? Because if we convert the chances created, we are top by a long way.
Miles ahead.
By a long way.
And a lot of teams may come on this channel and may say, well, you know, we've had this many chances, and that's fair play, but at the end of the day, statistically, we have got, I think we've created so far this season, I think I saw a stat earlier on Twitter, it's 490 chances created.
It is insane.
Which is just ridiculous. So it is one of those where you think if we're just not putting enough away for me, and that has been a big problem of the season. It's been a massive problem for Leeds United, but that is the culminating factor for me if we don't go up. And obviously we've got the other things in there. You look at your Spygate, you look at like I said, the goals, and the big thing that we're discussing at the minute, Joe, it's the goal difference, mate. I mean, obviously for me that acts as an extra point. Sheffield United and Norwich, even West Brom, have a better goal difference than Leeds.
I think we'll touch on it in another video. Obviously, we've done a bit of Sheffield United Norwich Leeds running, and I do think the goal difference could be key. Could be key.
How tight it's going to go.
Yeah, and look, Norwich score loads. Sheffield United keep them out. Where, you know what I mean? We're just.
And currently, Norwich are the best attacking side in the division, aren't they, with everything that's encompassed? And Sheffield United, let's be right with Sheffield United. I'm not, obviously, Joe just said we're going to talk about it in another video, but not conceding a goal in the Championship in 7 games, a goal, which is just, I mean, for me, I guess the other thing I'd like to touch on as well before we end the video is, what do you think about the atmosphere at Ellen Road? And do you think in the big games that we've had, you know, obviously more recently we've had probably the Derby one, which has worked in our favour. We've had West Brom, Norwich and Sheffield United. Do you think the big atmosphere, the building it up, do you think that works in our favour or not? Because I'm really on the fence with that at the minute.
Yeah, so I haven't got I don't suppose I've got an opinion either way. I've seen a lot of people commenting saying that we weren't great for Sheffield United. I don't think that's true. People can compare
You're talking
it
about
with
the
West
fans.
Brom.
You're talking about
Yeah,
the fans here.
the fans.
Yeah.
Sorry, the atmosphere. People can compare it with West Brom. But listen, West Brom were in front within fucking 16 seconds.
So it's going to automatically go up, innit?
Norwich, that got built up for me too much. Yeah. And as soon as we went down, that was it, flat, boom. And then it just got from worse to worse.
I think the issue with the Norwich one as well, there was a lot of overconfidence.
Yeah.
And that bothered me with the Norwich thing.
I think maybe...
Norwich, I don't think there was enough respect for how good Norwich were.
And I think even I would say as well, Pontus coming out and saying what he did against Sheffield United, maybe do you need to say that, because now how do you feel? How does you feel, because you've said this was the biggest game of your life and that, and now you've lost it, so I don't know.
I've just come back from that.
It's the biggest game of our lives. Click echoed his thoughts as well, and then we've lost it. But one thing I will say, after listening to Ben Parker on a podcast, he basically said the mood within the camp is really positive. And he said if you compare it to QPR, it's chalk and cheese. So that's really good. And I guess that's down to the fact that the performance against Sheffield United was really good. Let's not get away from that fact. It was really good.
Very good.
We just didn't convert our chances. On another day, we win that game.
Well, we're the better team.
Yeah, 100%. And Chris Wilder said so. Sheffield United fans say so. So that's fair play.
Well, I mean, they're vloggers.
Yeah.
Chris Wilder, of course. You know, a lot of fans on opposition blogs and stuff like that, all saying we were the better team. And like Bamford said as well, let's be realistic here. We could have been 3-0 up.
Yeah.
Couldn't we?
Yeah.
And I don't know. With me, the atmosphere, it does work both ways. I know.
I just wish we was. I keep coming back to
because we have to wait, don't we? Now?
Yeah. If we'd have had 5 points, we could have afforded a slip up. You know what I mean?
But the pressure has still been on.
100%. But let's say, for example, Sheffield United drew at Bristol City, then it's 6 points, and then do you see just little things like that? I don't know if my maths right there, but all I'm saying is we could have afforded a slip up. Now, is it better being the hunted or the hunted? I don't know. But in terms of if we slip up, is that it? I know there's 8 games left to go, but if we came back and drew and Sheffield United won, it's bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
and that's why we needed that little bit of cushion. The game, in terms of how the season ended, was so much bigger for Sheffield United because 5 points is a big gap with only 8 games left to go.
Yeah.
Point our way, it's not so big, and fingers crossed we can overcome it, you know.
But the review so far, how would you summarise it, mate? How would you summarise Leeds United's season so far in a word?
It's been mint. It's been a roller coaster ride. But regardless of what happens at the end, it'll be one that will stick in memory.
Oh, forever.
Yeah,
forever.
Just because of everything that's happened, I harp on about it in my own videos. I say, you know, the end of season DVD. If we do go up, it'll be what a watch that will be. Even like Pontus having to go in goal, like shades of Radaby, and look how long that picture stuck around.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
If we go up, like, will it be that video clip of when the wall turns round to Pontus and goes, "Where do we stand?" and he goes, "I don't fucking know." You know what I mean? Just little things like that.
How well did Pablo do there, by the way, when he just got back in front of the post and knocked it out? Jesus, but no, I think, I mean, I guess my word, once again, I like it always is with Leeds, dramatic, you know, but it has been unbelievable. We're not at the end yet, but we're near the end. We can see the finishing line now, can't we? We can see it, and we're going to touch that on in another video, but as I say, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been something a little bit different. If you'd like to see it a little bit more from me and Joe, make sure you comment in the section below. Make sure you like the video as well, and we've got some a few other videos coming out,
I'm looking forward to it. It's been nice, mate. It's been nice. I need a piss now, but there you go.
Right, guys, catch you in a bit. Cheers.